across the country.
Good evening and welcome to the news across the country. OSEC debunks reports on Federal High Court halting council polls. OSBC reports of the week mourns exodus of Nigerian doctors to Europe. Scores of terrorists reportedly killed in Katsina State. Osun State Independent Electoral Commission OSEC has described as baseless and unfounded the rumor that the Federal High Court sitting in Osogbo has stopped the Commission from conducting local government elections slated for October 15th. A statement by the Commission's chairman, Otumba Segun Ladito, reveals that the People's Democratic Party (PDP) entered an application to amend their originating summons, which was granted by the court and adjourned the matter to September 26th for hearing. It adds that the People's Democratic Party had approached the Federal High Court, Osogbo, on whether, in view of the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022, the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission can validly conduct the October 15th local government poll, which has not been argued. The statement assures the general public that the Commission is on the verge of conducting credible and acceptable election. Meanwhile, a counsel to the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Hashim Abioye, expressed satisfaction that the court granted the party's application to amend its originating summon since the Osun State Electoral Act was made after filing a case to stop the October local government election. Mr. Abioye explained that other matters questioning the legality of the poll has been adjourned till September 26. Meanwhile, the just concluded screening exercise for the aspirant for local government chairman by the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress is geared towards arriving at a unified candidate that is acceptable by the rank and file across the state of Osun. The special advisor to the governor on political matters, Mr. Sunday Akere, gave the insight in Osogbo, the state capital. He expressed optimism that the screening exercise and the primaries adopted by the party will go a long way in eliminating bickering among members as well as fortifying the party for a victorious outcome at October 15 local government election. He speaks further.
There are still a huge number of people that were said to have been qualified. And because we decided that we want to use the direct primary mode of election, we did not want a situation where we will have crisis when there are so many numbers of people contesting. What we are doing as a party is to work on the aspirants, work on the leadership, and look at the possibility of reducing the areas of contest. Since we have about 393 wards, if it is possible for us to have understanding, almost over 100 or 150 of the councillorship seats have been returned unopposed. And what those ones will do is just affirmation. We are not expecting any crisis there, so therefore agree that, okay, you are the only sole candidate. The exercise is being conducted under the laws of the land. The OSEC that is conducting it, they have gone to the House of Assembly and have the laws regulating the process ratified and signed by Mr. Governor. So if they are now saying that they don't believe in this, they don't believe in that, it is left for them. We are going to go ahead with the process, and we know that for anybody to say you want to remove a democratically elected chairman, you have to fight the matter even up to the Supreme Court.
In the meantime, Osun State chapter of the All Progressives Congress (APC) has faulted the state chapter of People's Democratic Party over its reaction on the report of an election monitoring group's (YAGA) on the July 2022 Osun governorship election. A statement by the media advisor to the state chairman of APC, Kola Olabisi in Osogbo, expressed surprise at why PDP has been uncomfortable with YAGA's report, while admonishing Osun PDP to give peace a chance The statement explains that as a product of the rule of law, APC will continue to exercise its right to seek justice in the court of law. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party in the state had earlier dismissed the report by the election monitors Yaga as a non-issue. It should be recalled that a civil society organization, the Youth Initiative for Advocacy Group and Advancement, had pointed out some alleged anomalies in the July 16th Osun State governorship election. The executive director of Yaga, Mr. Samson Itodo, revealed that some issues in the state election affected the processing of results on the Herald platform, which he noted was targeted at providing information. According to Mr. Itodo, in the Osun election, its 7 results were not processed on the Herald due to some issues. The statement added that it is the right of the APC and Governor Isola to seek for justice in the Court of Appeal. Osun State Governor Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola has assured management, staff and students of Osun State University, Osogbo, of his administration's commitment to continue to create an excellent working environment, which in turn will improve academic performance of the state-owned tertiary institution. Governor Isola also stressed that his administration has never interfered and will not in any way interfere in the day-to-day running of the university. The governor gave the assurance at the main campus of Osun State University, Osogbo, during the commissioning of the multidisciplinary laboratory project executed by the institution. The program was part of a series of activities lined up to mark the 11th convocation ceremony of the institution. Governor Isola was represented by the Secretary to the State Government of Osun, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, commended all the members of Uni Osun Governing Board and the Vice Chancellor of the institution. In his remarks, the Vice Chancellor of Uni Osun, Professor Clement Odunayo, appreciated Governor Adegboyega Oyetola for his support over the years, particularly for non-interference in the day-to-day running of the institution. A permanent member of the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Mr. Ayola Olajolo, said SUBEB is fully prepared for the next academic section, which will begin next week, Monday. Mr. Olajolo disclosed this today while featuring on platform a weekly issues-based program of Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. According to him, all government schools teachers have resumed since Monday, the 12th of this month, in order to prepare ahead of the student resumption, while maintaining that the hallmark of all endeavor is effective security. Mr. Olajola maintained that security should be improved positively for effective and adequate learning system. Mr. Olajola stressed that parents should always create time for their children in wards in order to monitor their affairs at homes, schools, and in public places. He added that the Quality Assurance Department of SUBEB will ensure the provision adequate security at schools and the distribution of academic material for effective learning. He urged commercial motorcyclists to drive with care while conveying pupils and students to their various schools and must not jeopardize their safety at times. In the meantime, an educationist and public affairs analyst, Mr. Jalili Ababatunde, says education as a profession of teaching and gradual processing of acquiring knowledge needs full and proper amenities for free flow of impacting knowledge to the life of youngsters and adults alike in Nigeria and the universe as a whole. Mr. Babatunde stated this today while featuring on Arole Akpakon on OSBC Radio. He stated that government should provide adequate security for the children and teachers for adequate teaching and learning, adding that the using of men of the Amotekun Corps in that regard will be a welcome development. Mr. Babatunde stressed that parents should always create time for their children in wards in order to monitor their affairs both at home and in schools. According to him, the resumption of primary and secondary schools in the state, which will be on Monday 19th of this month, should commence with revision of previous times' work. Leadership of National Association of Community Health Practitioners in the country have commended the Prince Olatunji Olaniyi-led association administrator in the state for taking the community health practitioners to the greater height. This forms part of goodwill messages as the commissioning of ultramodern secretariat named after late Oluwo of Iwo Oba Ashiru Olatubosun Tadeshe I to immortalize them. Shijuade Adesina was at the event. His report is presented from our studios.
The leaders and members of the National Association of Community Health Practitioners across Osun State could not hide their joy at the commissioning ceremony of the association's ultramodern secretariat put in place by Prince Olatunji Olaniyi-led executive. The national leadership of the association includes the President Emeritus Mudashiru Tadeshe, former chairman of the association Comrade Olabisi Adewumi, are among other dignitaries. The headship, both male and female, took turn in appreciating God for the success recorded by the community health practitioners in the state. The President Emeritus of the association, Prince Mudashiru Tadeshe, called on members of the association not to rest on their hours but rather continue to place high premium on health care delivery at the grassroots. While tracing the history of the community health practitioners in the state and at the national levels, Prince Tadeshe noted that the breakthrough was as a result of commitment, doggedness and unrelenting efforts of the members and the leadership of the association, among others.
For you to take it feet to dedicate a gigantic project of this to his memory is quite wonderful. My family and the entire people of Igbo land will ever be grateful to your association. When we go back home, we tell the present KBC and some of the Oba that are still living who worked with our father when he was alive.
Also speaking, the former chairman of the community health practitioners in Osun State, Comrade Olabisi, acknowledged the success of his successors, while he described it as a great achievement.
You are not a successful person, but when you see your successor to achieve a lot. You know, Comrade Olani happened to be a very dynamic community health. Maybe because it's a community to the core. So what am I now saying? The achievements speak volume for him. And the person that is coming, mind you, is even a chairman of forum of council manager in Osun State.
Delivering his address, the chairman, Prince Olatunji Olaniyi, maintained that the success of the project was as a result of the consistencies, understanding, cooperation and commitment of members and the contributions of the association's leadership. Prince Olaniyi stated that the naming of the edifice after the late Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Ashiru Olatubosun Tadeshe, was in recognition of his contributions towards the growth and development of the community health sector in the country. Reacting to the good gesture on behalf of the Tadeshe royal family, Mr. Adekwaju used the occasion to appreciate members and the leadership of the community health practitioners in the state for the honor done the late monarch. The senatorial candidate of the APC, Osun West District, Prince Alidu Tadeshe, called on leaders to remember that posterity will judge every of their acts after leaving office. The event continues tomorrow with a state delegate conference at the state secretariat Owodiede in the morning.
As part of the present administration's commitment in providing basic infrastructure for the citizenry, Osun State Water Corporation will tomorrow morning commission some newly constructed ultra-modern toilets for public use in Ilesha. The ultra-modern toilets are part of the ongoing water supply project in Ilesha metropolis to prevent waterborne diseases. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the Osun State Water Corporation, Mr. Olanyika Taiwo, indicates that the toilet facilities were located in Africa New Garage, Osogbo Ilesha Motor Park, along Ilesha Osogbo Road, Ilesha Agunrodo Motor Park, along Ijabu-Jesha Road, Ilesha Odoru Motor Park, Ilesha Shora Hospital off Mukuru Road, Ilesha, and College of Health Technology, Ilesha. According to the program's itinerary, leadership of Osun State Water Corporation will commission the ultra-modern toilets at the designated places. The release enjoined community leaders and the people of the concerned communities to attend the program as a matter of duty. This is the news across the country coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Ile-Awiye Okebale Osogbo, Voice of the West. Now, our mid-news message. Procrastination is a thief of time. Do not postpone till tomorrow what you can do today. The rate at which medical experts leave the shores of the country. The rate at which medical experts leave the shores of the country in search of greener pasture, no doubt, is applauding. At no doubt, it is affecting the health sector. In this report of the week, Said Adeboye spoke with some residents of Oshogbo, Osun State, on the brain drain in the health sector, its effects and the possible way out. Here is Said's report.
Brain drain from Nigeria is the exodus of middle-class and highly skilled Nigerians, which has been occurring in waves since the late 1980s to the early 1990s. This trend was initially restricted to certain professions, but has now become free for all with the introduction of visa programs in order to fill workforce gaps in developed nations. This was sparked by an economic downturn following a period of economic boom in the 1970s and 1980s, propelled by the discovery of oil wells in Nigeria. By mid-1980s, medical teachers started leaving for the West and the Middle East. The young doctors they taught also left for Western postgraduate education. The economic downturn, which occurred in the late 80s, made workers, particularly in the healthcare sector, to seek greener pastures at all costs. Today, a large number of medical doctors have left the shore of the country, identifying poor working conditions, low remuneration, and poor working environment. In 2019, of Nigeria's annual budget of 8.8 trillion naira, 3.6% was allocated to the health care. Similar findings were noted in the Canada Roche study carried out by Pan-African Polling Institute, API, which identified Nigeria's poor economic performance, lack of security of lives and property, and poor leadership as the ultimate push factors as a driver of recent immigration pattern to Canada, which has also introduced immigration policies with a background enabling environment. To say the obvious, Nigerian hospitals are suffering from medical doctors as of today. This has continued to generate reactions from an average Nigerians. One of those who spoke with this reporter was Mr. Oluwatobite Mitayo. He expressed concern about the brain drain in the country, calling on relevant authorities to provide good remuneration and working environment to workers.
The government is not even trying hard to provide an enabling environment for youth to thrive. You see someone that has a certificate, that has a skill, but does not have the enabling environment to actually function well. And when they say that there are greener pastures out there, and I think it's in the best interest of such youth to just do everything possible to just go to that greener pasture. And I think on the part of our government, they are really losing talent. You see all over the world, we have Nigerians scattered everywhere in major and key positions and places. So, because the government, they are not providing facilities, enabling environments, what should we do? We should just leave and look for a greener pasture.
Same was the submission of Comrade Adeyinka Olawale. He expressed concern that if medical doctors continue to leave the country for overseas, individuals are posed to risk.
The problem is due to the corruption in our country. You know, you have the certificate, you have the skills, but before you can get the job, you need to bribe your way in. Even when you bribe your way in, the amount is not guaranteed. The economy is very bad. You can imagine you take some cash to the market, you will not be able to afford the things you buy. Your salary is not able to pay your bills. So I think that is the number one reason that most of our youth are traveling abroad. Because there your skills will fetch you money. Anything you do there is money. So our government should try. They create more factories and they make sure that the economy is circulating.
Called on relevant authorities to take necessary steps that will stop brain drain in the country. For OSBC Report of the Week, this is Said Adevoje reporting.
The Joint Association of National People with Disabilities has called for a speedy presentation of the Protection and Involvement of the People with Disabilities Act before Osun State House of Assembly. The association made the call at a news conference held in Oshogbo, the state capital of Osun State. Olaide Adegbero was there. A report.
In his address, the chairman of Joint National Association of People with Disabilities, JONAPWID, Osun State Chapter, Mr. Femi Stephen, appealed to the government to domesticate the Act Against Discrimination of People with Disabilities. Mr. Stephen stressed that members of the association face a lot of inhumane treatment from the society, thereby urged concerned authorities to correct the abnormalities.
We are here to say to the world about the problem we are facing concerning the disability bill.
While addressing the gathering, the former state chairman of JONAPWID, Mr. Kehinde Onitiju, said many things have been put in place to ensure that the bill for inclusion get to the State House of Assembly so that it will become a law.
We have consulted the appropriate quarters for the domestication of the Discriminating Against Persons with Disability Act in Osun. We try our best, but all our effort was abortive. Not quite long, about a year ago, when Pademilo Foundation, Kai, So Life, and other supported CSOs rise up to get our bill domesticated by Osun State government.
In their separate address, the executive director for FESFAD Foundation, Mr. Festus Fajemilo, and the director of Kai 4SR, Mrs. Eni, also expressed their concern on how people treat people with disabilities, maintaining that domesticating the Act Against Discrimination of People with Disabilities, life will be more bearable for them. Also speaking, the former women leader of the association, Mrs. Fumi Abdullahi, and the owner of Soul Life Foundation, Mrs. Adiola Falana, stressed the need to break the physical, social, political, and economic barriers facing people with disability.
We want what is rightly for everybody. We want it for person with disability. So far, the person is qualified.
Olaide Adegbenro, OSBC News.
Many terrorists were killed in Sabuwa local government area of Katsina State when a team of police operatives engaged the hoodlums, numbering over 30 in a fierce gun duel. Katsina Police spokesman SP Gambo Issa said one AK-47 and 4 operational vehicles used by the terrorists were also recovered from the scene of the attack. Lagos State Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja has fixed Monday next week for ruling on the post-conviction bail application filed by convicted actor Olanrewaju James, popularly known as Baba Joshua. The trial judge, Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo, fixed the date after listening to the argument of both prosecuting and defense counsel on whether the convict has met special circumstances for the court to grant him bail pending appeal. It will be recalled that 2 months ago, Baba Joshua was convicted for indecent treatment of a child and sexual assault of a minor between 2013 and 2014, among other offences, by the court. He was thereafter sentenced to serve a 5-year jail term. Governor Adeboye Ogeotola has congratulated the former state deputy governor and national secretary of the All Progressives Congress APC, Senator Yola Omishore, on the occasion of his 65th birthday. The governor, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Mr. Ismail Omikpido, acknowledged the selfless services to humanity and the philanthropic gesture of the Ife-born politician as manifested in the testimonials of the countless number of people who had in one way or the other benefited from his benevolence and kindness. Governor Oyetola described the party scribe as a thoroughbred politician and seasoned technocrat whose impact on the nation's democracy and good governance cannot be quantified. He expressed gratitude to the frontline politician for his relentless efforts and tremendous contributions to the development of the state, in particular Nigeria in general. Osun State Governor Mr. Adeboye Ogeotola has commiserated with Ondo State Governor Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu over the demise of his mother, Lady Evangelist Grace Akeredolu. In a statement by his chief press secretary, Mr. Ismail Omikpido, Governor Ogeotola prayed God to comfort Governor Akeredolu and the entire Akeredolu family on the loss of their matriarch. Governor Ogeotola described the late Mrs. Akeredolu as a respected community leader and great mother who raised her children with the fear of God and also instilled in them sound moral character and discipline. He urged Governor Akeredolu and the rest of the family to find solace in the fact that Mama lived a long and fulfilled life that was dedicated to the service of her Creator and humanity, adding that she lived long enough to witness and share in the success of her children. Governor Usola, who said the deceased will be missed, especially for her counsel and guardians, urged the family to keep our memories alive by upholding the virtues of compassion, love, sacrifice, and community service that she was known for. Christian wake for late Deaconess Dorcas Megbagbiola Orelusi took place today at Orelusi compound, Idoikbo, Ikeji-Arakeji, Osun State. A statement by the Orelusi family of Ikeji-Arakeji indicates that service at home is billed for tomorrow morning at Deaconess Dorcas Orelusi's residence at Orelusi compound, Odoikbo, Ikeji-Arakeji. Also, there will be service at the graveyard to be conducted by the ministers of the Apostolic Church Nigeria, Okebukun Assembly tomorrow at the church premises Ikeji-Arakeji, to be followed by outing and Thanksgiving service. According to the statement, reception follows immediately at St. Peter's Anglican Church, Ultramodern Hall, Ikeji-Arakeji. Late Deaconess Dorcas Megbagbiola Orelusi, otherwise known as Mama Baby, who died at the age of 102, is survived by children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Policemen have sealed off the office of the League Management Company in Abuja following directive to withdraw operating license of the Nigerian Professional Football Leagues tomorrow. Adeyemi Aboderin brings more on sports updates.
Former Nigerian midfielder Henry Nwosu believes the duo of Rivers United and Plateau United can repeat Enyimba's Football Club success in the CAF Champions League if they maintain positive approach to every game. Recall that Rivers United defeated Liberian side Wantanga Football Club 3-0 in the first leg of the CAF Champions League qualifying game, while Plateau United were held to a 2-2 draw by Stade Monji of Gabon. However, in an interview, the 1980 African Cup of Nations winner stated that both Rivers United and Plateau United must display sense of determination, hunger, and zeal, pick up points away from home. Enyimba Football Club have won CAF Champions League twice in 2003 and 2004, as well as 2 African Super Cups in 2004 and 2005 to make them the most successful club in the country. Meanwhile, Rivers United captain Austin Festus says the team will go all out for a win when they took on Wantanga Football Club of Liberia in the second leg of their CAF Champions League preliminary round this weekend. The Nigerian Professional Football League champions won the first leg 3-0 in Port Harcourt on Sunday. Coach Stanley Eguma tutored side are intensifying preparations ahead of the second leg. Rivers United are looking to become the second Nigerian club to win the CAF Champions League after Enyimba won it in 2003 and 2005. In the meantime, ahead of the international friendly game against the Desert Foxes of Algeria, former Flying Eagles defender Valentine Ozonwafo has been called up to the Super Eagles camp. The Super Eagles and Desert Forces of Algeria will face off against themselves in an international friendly game slated for Horan in Algeria on the 27th of this month. Ozonwafo, who joined French second division side Sokos this summer, has been part of the Super Eagles team in the past but lost his place due to injury and loss of form. His club has confirmed his invitation. Meanwhile, the camp of the Super Eagles has been slated to open on Monday for the game slated to hold on the 27th of this month. African Soccer ruling body will conduct draws for the 2023 Championship of African Nations competition slated for Algeria without Nigeria. The Super Eagles Team B crashed out of the competition after losing 5-4 on penalties to the Black Galaxies of Ghana. CAF confirmed that the final draw will be conducted on the 1st of next month in Algiers, capital of Algeria. For the first time, 18 teams will take part in the competition following CAF's decision to increase the number of participating teams. Competition is slated to hold between 13th of January and 4th of February next year. 2 top performers for the country at the just concluded Commonwealth Games, Toby Amusan and Eze Brume, are in the country ahead of the athletes' visit President Muhammadu Buhari at the Villa. Federal government will host athletes who made the country proud at the Commonwealth Games in England, where Nigeria ended the tournament as the best African sporting country, ranked 7 on the overall medals table with 12 gold, 9 silver, and 14 bronze medals. Report says policemen have taken over the office of the League Management Company, NMC, in the early hours of today. Policemen were reportedly brought to seal off the office. Recall that the Ministry of Sport had ordered the Nigerian Football Federation to withdraw the operating license from LMC. Sport update returns tomorrow. My name is Adeyemi Abodere.
That was the news across the country, edited by Adeniyi Kehinde and delivered by Olushola Egbodofo. Thanks for listening. Good evening.